The anti-hopping law can now be enforced. US and Japan holds economic dialogue against competitor, and Sarawak targets 2.5 million visitors from Brunei. Those are the headlines for tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Muhammad Yusuf, and this is TVS Nightline. We begin with our top story. It is the prerogative of the State Attorney General to enact the anti-party hopping bill, as it is already in the provisions of the Sarawak State Constitution. However, further assessment is needed first to understand whether there is a need for amendment or if the existing provision is sufficient to allow its enforcement statewide. Its enforcement was not in place prior to July 28th due to a contradictory case that went against the federal constitution, which took place in Kelantan.
Bila perlembagaan sekarang dah dipindah, mana peruntukan itu dulu mungkin sekarang ni boleh dikuatkuasakan. Tapi terserahlah pada negeri untuk mengkaji sama ada mereka membuat satu peruntukan yang sama dengan apa yang dibuat di Peringkat Persekutuan ataupun memadai dengan peruntukan yang sedia ada. Yang tu mereka kena kaji dari segi perundangan, sudut perundangan.
Fadilah prompted the comment following Datuk Seri Dr. Maximus Ongkili recent statement on the importance for Sabah and Sarawak to quickly table the anti-party hopping bill at the state level within 60 days. For records, amendment to the federal constitution which prohibits party hopping by the Dewan Rakyat on July 28 did not apply to both state legislative assemblies of Sabah and Sarawak. Hence, the State Attorney General, Datuk Seri Talat Mahmud Abdul Rashid, would need to undertake the matter with haste, added Fadilah.
The United States and Japan recently held a high-level economic dialogue aimed at pushing back its main economic competitor, China, and to counter the global recession which took place following the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Known as the Economic Policy Consultative Committee, EPCC, or the Economic 2+2 Dialogue, it discussed the establishment of the new Joint Research Center for Next-Generation Semiconductors as a top priority, complemented with discussions over recent concerns on energy and food security.
As we discussed today, semiconductors are the linchpin of our economic and national security, and we had an excellent discussion today around how Japan and the United States could collaborate, especially with respect to advanced semiconductors.
海外の企業や研究機関にもオープンであり、国際共同研究のハブとする考えです。科学技術立国、日本の力を結集して、日米、さらには有志国の協力をリードしていく決意です。
Hagiuda also added the economic 2+2 format is not exclusive between Japan and the US only, but will lay the foundation of peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region to establish a free and open economic platform for the region. Meanwhile, Yoshimasa Hayashi suggested that foreign and economic policy should be discussed as a unit rather than individually as indicated in the economic 2+2 format. This was emphasized to address the conflict between Russia and Ukraine and was seconded by Raimondo.
I would say this format is the first of its kind. It is ambitious, exciting, and timely in light of the threats that we are seeing around the world, and the reality that, as you said, Mr. Hayashi, economic security is very much more than ever tied to national.
Though neither US nor Japan disclosed additional details on the establishment of the Research Center for Semiconductors, Japan newspaper Nikkei Shimbun stated that it would be set up by the end of 2022.
Brunei's border reopening on August 1st will bring an unprecedented number of tourists to the country. Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri, said it will bring a positive impact to the recovery of the country's economy with the inclusion of tourists who shop in Malaysia, especially in Miri. Her ministry, MOTAC, aims to have 2.5 million of tourist arrivals to Malaysia via the border, and that the actual figure would be presented in September of 2023.
The thing is, we are also trying to facilitate overseas tourists, because I discovered that they came in on single entry visa. So there are demands out there for us to facilitate when they come in, because some of them, they came to KL, after that they went on cruise and they went to Singapore, they want to come back. So they cannot come back because the visa is only a single entry visa, and it is not good for us. We want them to come back again. So that's why I suggested for us to have multiple entry, then we have more of them coming in.
She said this during a visit to Linud Batik Boutique in Coco Cabana, Miri on Friday.
Now, the pork industry represents a major value-added activity in Sarawak's agricultural economy and is a major contributor to the overall economy. The 303.3 million ringgit of gross receipts from the pork industry from the year 2018 to 2021 represent only a portion of the economic activity supported by the industry. As such, the state government has allocated a total of 30 million ringgit to develop 3 more pig farming areas in the state. And the 3 new pig farms will adopt the new modern pig farming MPH system to combat pollutions. Now, earlier this week, we had the opportunity to speak with the Department of Veterinary Services TVS Sarawak Dr. Adrian Susit Ambut on safe pig farm management.
So, in Sarawak, we identified 3 areas for pig farming area. One is existing one at PFA Pasir Puteh, Simunjan, which produce more than 100,000 porkers a year, valued about 100 million a year. So this is the industry that contribute to the net exporter of food by 2030. The other one is approved by the state government now, is a pig farming area, Selangau, about 230 hectare. And the third one is also extension Samarakan, Bintulu, a new area, Samarakan Bintulu, also identified as pig farming area. So with the establishment of the 3 pig farming area, we can develop this swine industry. We can transform the industry into modern pig farm, so that we can become a net exporter of food by 2030. Because currently we export 2,000 weekly to Singapore. So with the expansion of this development, we can further export more pork to supply to Singapore, neighboring country, and even to Hong Kong. There is a huge potential because taking into account Sarawak's tech is FMD free. We are FMD free certified since 2004. So this entitles us to export our product beside improving the food safety, improving the farm biosecurity, and then to ensure that the product is fit for human consumption and comply to the international standard. If we want to export our product, we need to comply with the international requirement, so that they are confident of our product is of healthy and fit for human consumption.
Dr. Adrian assured the general public that the system will not pollute the environment or affect the health and well-being of the operators, because any farm discharge will be properly managed.
Modern pig farm is actually a concept that we want to promote. MPF, modern pig farm, there are 4 criteria of this modern pig farm. First one is closed house system. Closed house. The old system is open system, but we introduce closed house, where the pig reared in the closed house with ventilation, and the pig inside is very they can the pig is very comfortable inside the house because it's called controlled environment. Secondly is to practice strict biosecurity. Modern pig farm is about biosecurity, to restrict movement of animal and to ensure that there is no disease coming in and disease going out. So the biosecurity that tackle those things. Biosecurity is very important. The entrance, the farm has to be properly gated, and then only authorized visitors can enter the farm. They have to change clothes and they have to maybe take bath before they enter the farm. That is to ensure the farm is free from animal disease. So number 3 is good animal husbandry practice. Good animal husbandry practice cover of good management, health management, health management, also animal welfare also inside, and then the third one is zero discharge. Zero discharge means waste management, where the waste from the pig is properly treated with zero discharge, or they have their own waste management system to ensure that the waste from the pig does not pollute the environment. So we want to ensure is environmentally friendly farming, does not pollute the river and so on.
The state government has terminated a joint venture agreement with a property developer who had neglected the development of Borneo Highland. The project has been stagnant for the past decade and its development will be taken over by the state government, according to Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah. The Minister for Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts said the new development plan will be holistic and considers the plan beneficial to the local community.
Beritahu lebih-lebih lagi karena takut dia subjudice. Tapi di sebaliknya kerajaan ada rancangan yang terperinci, mahu membangunkan tempat itu sebagai tempat peranginan yang menarik. Dan selain daripada itu, penduduk-penduduk yang tinggal dalam kawasan berdekatan dengan Borneo Highland dapat memanfaat, karena kawasan itu amat besar sekali. The whole area actually is 5,000 acres. Ya, kita boleh atur supaya ia dapat menjadi kawasan pelancongan, kawasan tanaman agriculture yang moden di mana kita dapat bertanam dan dapat mengangkatkan ekonomi rakyat yang berdekatan dengan tempat itu.
Since the termination of the contract, Borneo Highlands jurisdiction will fall under the Pendawan Municipal Council MPP.
Oleh kerana ia sudah dibatalkan, penyelenggaraan Borneo Highlands adalah di bawah Pendawan Municipal Council. Pada kabinet meeting yang lepas, kabinet telah meluluskan agar Majlis Perbandaran Pendawan yang akan menjaga. Kalau tidak, rumput jadi panjang dan sebagainya.
He said the Borneo Highland redevelopment plan will involve the participation of the local community. Earlier, Abdul Karim was met after officiating the Budaya traditional dance competition in Palawan on Friday.
Now, 2 men were reported missing and feared drowned after the fishing boat they were on capsized at around 4:30 p.m. in Wong Pelagus, Kapit on Friday. The 2 men are identified as 73-year-old Ngalang Demong and Riselis Selulasu, both of Rumah Nangga Pelagus.
According to an eyewitness account, the boat suddenly capsized and the both victims were swept by the strong current. Kapit Fire and Rescue Department, Bomba Station Chief Timothy Barat, said his team received a distress call regarding the incident at 11:35 a.m. on Saturday after search and rescue efforts by the villagers failed to locate the 2 victims, prompting a search and rescue operation to be activated involving a team from the Kapit Fire Station with the assistance of the police and villagers. Timothy added the time to reach to the scene was 2 hours.
Coming up right after the break, Malaysia grabs another gold at the Olympics and the demand for monkeypox vaccine is higher than its supply. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TVS Nightline. Now, a Balaga-born Sarawakian was crowned as the Ma'al Hijrah woman icon during Terengganu's Ma'al Hijrah celebration on Saturday. The 36-year-old Nur Khalisha Shanlesni from the Kenyah tribe received recognition after 4 years of embracing Islam.
She said that her selection as the icon of the Ma'al Hijrah Terengganu is a recognition for women in Sarawak who is active in dakwah and community activities, especially among the Mualaf when she migrated to Terengganu in 2018.
Semasa saya dimaklumkan yang saya terpilih sebagai calon, memang masa tu saya tak tahu nak cakap apa lah, memang sangat gembira dan sangat bersyukur sebab segala usaha macam amalan kebajikan yang kita buat selama ni dapat penghargaan.
Her identity as a Sarawakian did not diminish after migrating. Rather, it is more empowered via trading the iconic Sarawak layer cakes.
Selepas tahun pertama saya duduk di Terengganu, mula-mula saya buat kek lapis Sarawak untuk raya. Lepas tu, bila kawan-kawan datang makan, dia rasa suka dan macam dia buat permintaan untuk buat kek lapis seterusnya lah untuk ambil order dan alhamdulillah saya buat sikit-sikit dan sekarang ni memang permintaan tu sentiasa ada.
During the ceremony, Khalisha received 4,000 ringgit cash, a plaque and a certificate of appreciation presented by the Sultan of Terengganu, Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin.
Now, Malaysia grabs its second gold in weightlifting at Birmingham today, which was delivered by Muhammad Aznil Bidin in the 61 kilograms category. According to the Olympic Council of Malaysia (MOM), Aznil successfully defended his gold medal in the category.
Whereas the first gold was won at the same event by Muhammad Anik Kasdan in the 55 kilogram category. And this pushes Malaysia at press time to the 4th place within the ranking by having 2 golds above Scotland. Other than weightlifting, MOM has said the gold prospects in Birmingham 2022 are badminton, lawn bowls, powerlifting, rhythmic gymnastics and diving. Currently, the Malaysian team is marching towards the quarterfinals in the badminton event and lawn ball.
National diving queen Datuk Pandalela Rinong said that it will not be an easy task to win gold, even if China is absent from the diving pool at the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. She added that athletes from Australia, England and Canada should be given due attention as they will be tough opponents when the competition kicks off.
When met by reporters at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, she said that her focus now is to ensure that the team can give their best shots as there are countries that will challenge in China's absence. She also added that her achievements at the World Championships in Budapest have motivated her to perform her best dives for Birmingham. The Malaysian Olympic Council has set gold prospects at the Games in badminton, lawn bowls, powerlifting, rhythmic gymnastics, weightlifting and diving. The Birmingham Commonwealth Games officially began last Thursday, and the Malaysian contingent is represented by 104 athletes, 44 officials and 13 staff.
Now, beginning Monday onwards, all incoming travellers to Malaysia are no longer required to complete the traveller's card on the MySejahtera app. Aimed at simplifying the entry procedure for travellers to Malaysia, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the decision was made based on the positive outlook on the current health system.
Khairi said the Ministry of Health will constantly intensify symptom monitoring activities among travellers at all international entry points in Malaysia. He said should the traveller is detected to have a fever through the thermal scanner or found to be unwell upon arrival, they will be referred for re-examination by the health department. Once a health assessment is made, or if there is a case of suspected illness due to infectious diseases such as COVID-19, monkeypox, MERS-CoV or others, the traveller will be referred to a nearby health facility for further checkups and treatment. Additionally, Khairi said all travellers who have just arrived from abroad should practice self-monitoring of their health status, comply with the prescribed standard operating procedures, and are advised to go to a nearby health facility for examination if unwell.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the National Month and Fly the Jalur Gemilang celebrations are a reminder to Malaysians of their independence to self-administer the country after being freed from colonialism. At the official launch of the celebration today, Ismail Sabri said that although Malaysia achieved its independence, there are other challenges that could threaten its harmony.
With the theme Keluarga Malaysia Teguh Bersama, the Prime Minister said by embracing the spirit of the Malaysian family, Malaysians can weather any storm and challenges that may come along.
Teguh Bersama merujuk kepada kekuatan dan kesepaduan kolektif oleh keluarga Malaysia dalam mengharungi pelbagai cabaran dengan semangat sebuah keluarga.
He said apart from flying the Jalur Gemilang, Malaysians can show other ways to show love for the country by practicing noble values, working together and showing tolerance as well as supporting government initiatives. He added the COVID-19 was the biggest challenge faced by the country and the whole world in the past 2 years, but Malaysia had managed the pandemic well because of the firm actions and measures taken by the government.
Negara kini dalam fasa peralihan ke endemik dan keluarga Malaysia mula menikmati kesejahteraan hidup seperti sebelum pandemik melanda dunia.
Earlier, Ismail Sabri joined more than 15,000 participants in a 2.7-kilometer walk under the Berjalan Teguh Bersama program. The 2022 National Day celebration will be held at Dataran Merdeka, Kuala Lumpur on August 31st.
This is TVS Nightline. Now on to some global updates. A medical center in the north of New York is seeing an increase in demand for monkeypox vaccines that surpasses the supply stock that is in hand. To cope with the situation, Westchester Medical Center, or WMC, arranged appointments to those who have requested the vaccine, which will be distributed via a drive-through starting next week.
By creating a permanent structure, it allowed us to adapt to the evolving public health needs. So when monkeypox vaccine became available and we were asked to be a distributor of the vaccine, we thought that it was the perfect setting in order to do so.
Yezo also said that it was extremely important to maintain constant readiness for any disease after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Since our number has become public to the community, we have seen an uptick and an increase in requests for vaccinations. So our call center is queuing the calls, appointing the patients, and we are seeing an increase in demand and appointments going out into next week.
The Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO, stated over 5,300 cases were reported in the United States, Canada, and Brazil. Almost all of these cases have involved incidences of men who have sex with men between the ages of 25 and 45. However, PAHO warned that the disease is not exclusive and anyone could get infected regardless of their gender and sexual orientation. In Japan, an expert panel of the country's health ministry approved the use of smallpox vaccine made by KM Biologic Company to prevent monkeypox. The ministry claimed the smallpox vaccines are about 85% effective in preventing the disease. Japan also allowed the use of foreign-made treatments that have yet to be approved to be used in Japan, specifically in Osaka, Aichi, and Okinawa. People can get infected by coming into contact with the rashes or bodily fluid of infected people, and most can recover naturally within 2 to 4 weeks.
China's Ministry of Commerce said the country will continue to optimize a law-based, market-oriented and internationalized business environment for foreign enterprises. The country so far has successfully coordinated epidemic control and economic development, as well as providing opportunities for multinational companies to invest.
持续优化外商投资环境，组织完成与外商投资法不符的法规清理，推动废止、修订、制定法规文件520部，进一步完善了外商法治环境，积极配合全国人大常委会开展外商投资法执法检查，督促各地切实执行好投资促进、保护和管理的各项制度，落实外资企业国民待遇，维护外商投资的合法权益。
Chen also said that in the second half of 2022, China will launch new policies and measures to stabilize foreign investment. Its policies is to encourage foreign-funded enterprises to inspect the environment at the central, western and northeastern regions of China, as well as striving to introduce a number of new projects.
Now, the entertainment industry is one of, if not the fastest evolving industry, as faces changes and policy being regulated over time. Just how much the industry has changed and what is the reality of the entertainment industry now, especially with the arrival of social media? Join us tomorrow on Sejahtera Asia as Dewi Liana Sriesta will be giving us insights on the matter. And those who did not graduate with SPM, what is the direction these students should take? Ahmad Faisal Osman, a teacher from SK Pulau Seduku, will be guiding you on the steps of an assuring future. With hosts Sharon and Alexan, 7:45 a.m. only on TVS Astro Channel 122 and My Freeview. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading onto our website at www.tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Muhammad Yusuf. Thank you for watching and good night.